This is Northwest Kardashian. She is 12 years old, but from the looks of her photos, would you have guessed that? Between her luxury outfits, contour, lip gloss, the confidence of a 25-year-old influencer, it's hard to remember that she is still in middle school. Now, I'm so not here to attack a child. This isn't actually about North herself. It's about what she represents. 12-year-olds everywhere are acting, looking, and marketing themselves as if they are adults. From the Sephora tweens going viral for their $500 skincare routines, to kids filming Get Ready With Me for School that rack up millions of views, to TikTok filters that literally make children look 20 years older. We are literally seeing the death of girlhood in real time. So you know you better buckle up, besties, because today we are talking about why 12-year-olds are starting to look 25 now. And more importantly, what the heck happened to girlhood? What happened about going to summer camp? What happened about learning to ride a bike? When we were 12, glow up meant braces off, maybe mascara, maybe if you were fancy, some tinted lip balm. Now it means full contour, slick back buns, and a $90 retinol. The younger generation didn't just grow up fast, they were marketed to grow up fast. In 2024, Sephora literally replaced Toys R Us for Gen Alpha girls. Makeup isn't just a fun experiment anymore. If you don't want to be shunned by other preteens your age, you have to be wearing makeup. It's ridiculous.
How they say like young teenagers are looking older and older every year? Well, I totally agree. The 12-year-olds these days look like how I do now at 24. Because look at me 12 years ago at 12. Okay, first of all, what is this outfit? But like the fact that these kids look like me now at this age is crazy. Like, what's in the water? What's in the water?
This is a 12-year-old. I am not a mother. I don't have children. But I don't think this is an appropriate outfit for a 12-year-old. Like, am I being crazy? Am I being a Karen? I don't think so. Like, guys, that is an insane outfit for a 12-year-old. This isn't even a teenager. This is not an adult. This is so far from an adult. This is a middle school child. This is a child. I'm sorry. Let me know what you guys think, because when
I was 12, this is what everyone was wearing. Bro, me and Aeropostale? Was that Canadian? Like, me and Aeropostale? Me and Abercrombie and Fitch? Me and my, my capri pants and a pair of Pumas? Oh my. And I was getting looks. Like, that was the vibe at the time. Bro, this was me at 12. Stop. No. This is what I'm saying. She's in her King Kylie era. Kylie was 17. I'm 27 and she looks older than me. She looks older than her own mother. You guys, it's one thing about the hair, it's one thing a Vivienne Westwood bag. It's another to be doing full acrylic nails and a corset with a collar, you guys. I'm honestly disturbed. Like, when I saw this for the first time, I actually couldn't believe it. And it just feels so deeply inappropriate. Like, so inappropriate. A bustier corset is definitely not appropriate for a 12-year-old. No, literally no. I don't even think I wore a bra until I was like 13. Like, there was nothing going on. A push-up bra at 12? Get out of here. Get out of here. And then they have the audacity to criticize Kourtney on her parenting. At least Penelope looks her age. Exactly. I keep going back and forth and thinking about my olden days and like what it was like when I was growing up. Today's era is different. Groups of 10 and 12-year-olds storming Sephora, filling baskets with Drunk Elephant, Summer Fridays, Glow Recipe. These are the same products that adults, grown people, are buying to reverse aging, which, let's be honest, the kids do not have. There's nothing to reverse. You are 12. And when people call it out, the response is always the same. Let them have fun. It's just makeup. Why are you so upset? But it's not just makeup, because behind every viral Sephora tween is a $380 million child skincare market projected to grow by almost 8% per year.
We gotta talk about how, y'all, the kids are not all right. Because while personal hygiene and skincare, very important, by the time many of these kids are 10 years old, they're convinced they need to start anti-aging anti-aging skincare routines. You got little kids asking Santa to bring anti-aging moisturizers in his sleigh. You've got Sephora's packed with kids who buy creams they can't even spell. With a New York-based dermatologist telling CNN, we've now actually started to see 9 to 13-year-olds in the office for cosmetic consultations on a somewhat regular basis. If you're looking at this like I was initially when the story was pitched to me and you're like, well, what's the deal here? Like, I wanted Proactive when I saw those commercials when I was young. What's the big deal? I wish I started moisturizing when I was younger. Well, it turns out that's not quite what a lot of today's tweens are doing. Right? You've got kids as young as 10 raiding Sephora in search of high-end brands like Drunk Elephant, which if you're unfamiliar with is like giving a toddler a Rolex. Or they sell creams for $70, serums that can be over $100 as well, and some anti-aging products that kids shouldn't be using. Because anti-aging products, they're meant for people who are aging. It's in the name, not prepubescent. Because while adults might benefit from things like retinol or vitamin serums, a teenager's skin, that's a different climate. They have more hormones and more collagen, so that means that they have different needs. Which is why you have tons of dermatologists now trying to get the word out, warning that these 10-step wrinkle prevention routines, they're not only unnecessary for them, but they can actually include ingredients that are bad for tweens and teens. In young children with acne, it's very easy to overuse active ingredients, and then you end up over drying the skin, causing breakouts, eczema, and sensitivity. And adding, even adults will have issues if they just pile on all the actives at the same time, right? Noting that too much can crack your skin and open doors for infection or even to develop allergies to products you were not always sensitive to. And a big thing, this is especially true of thin, immature skin.
Can I just say Philip DeFranco's looking snatched? Like, I have not seen him in years. Like, years.
And
I remember when I was like 10 or 11, my mom took me to the drugstore. We bought a little trial size set of facial products. It had a little cleanser. I think it had like a little toner that was like, I don't know, like some sort of water. And then it had a little moisturizer. Like, what is wrong with that? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this specific creator on TikTok. He's a young kid who goes surfing, and a lot of the comments are always like, hey, this kid should have been using a lot more sun protection because he clearly lives in a hot climate. He lives somewhere really sunny and he goes to surfing practice all the time. But you can see how damaging the sun is to somebody who's exposed to it over and over again and doesn't have a good SPF. What's wrong with being young and having an SPF? Have an SPF all you want, that's just fine. But like, are you kidding me? Like, you guys are crazy. A retinol, get out of my face. Dude, retinol at 10 is so extremely dangerous. Get out of my face. There will be no retinol for you, babes. And I forget to put on deodorant most days. Same girl. Like, what is even, how do these kids have time? Why is everyone so scared of age? I refuse anti-aging because I'd like to look like I've lived a good life. I want to look like a person. Honestly, the fact that these kids are going in for consultations between 9 and 13, I mean, I would have to say that probably around the 10-year mark is when I started to feel insecurities and tell my mom like, oh, I'd like to cover this up, or I feel kind of nervous about this, or I feel a little nervous about my body. But before, like, it would never come down to like, okay, babe, I'll take you to the derm. Like, let me take you to the med spa. Like, let's take a good look at that and try and get you a treatment. No, you should be playing sports. Scrape your knees. You can do that when you're older. All of these Sephora brands that are allowing kids to come in and buy, and they know that they know exactly what they're doing. They don't care about these kids' skin or their self-expression. All they care about is making the most money possible, even if that means marketing towards impressionable kids who just want to fit in with their generation. Childhood literally became content overnight, and content became this weird type of currency. The most striking example of this contrast is literally happening within the Kardashian family. You have Northwest, Kim's daughter. She's usually seen wearing designer clothes, bold makeup, attending fashion shows, or posting TikToks with adult creators like Ice Spice. Then you have Penelope Disick, Kourtney Kardashian's daughter, who is the same age, has the exact same access to money, but a completely different vibe. Penelope still posts silly videos, goes makeup free, and acts like a kid.
This is a really great point, especially because Penelope is 13, which means she's a year older than North, who is 12 years old. And she's never been dressed in a corset. This also negates the comment about Kim being white, because then Kourtney is too, and Kourtney's kids don't dress like that. So let's go through some of Penelope's outfits and see how they differ. Obviously in this one, their outfits are pretty similar. Oversized tees, baggy jeans, no issues there. The main difference in this picture is the full glam. North is in full glam at 12 years old, and Penelope is barefaced or very natural, as any child should be. Moving on. Here's a picture of her and Kourtney together, and she might be in a crop top, but I find the craziest part about this outfit, the Gucci trench coat. Okay, fashion queen. It's just like wild to comprehend that children at age 12, 13, because they're famous, are wearing like thousands of dollars of runway clothing. It's wild to me, but appropriate. No full glam, no corset in sight. And one more, another oversized tee, some baggy shorts. It's just hilarious. The socks with the flats, I love it. And then her cute little slick back bun. But this is how children should be dressed. They should look back and be able to laugh at their fashion choices, not cringe at the fact that their mother let them out of the house in something so inappropriate. Like, it should be funny and fun. Just like how everyone's sharing their photos of themselves at 12 years old under my posts. Like, it's hilarious. But it's not hilarious when you're in a corset.
Respectfully, Penelope is a fashion killer. Like, you either see it or you don't. You either get the energy or you don't, because for me personally, I am seeing it in bright lights. I am seeing Penelope taking on an entire new persona, becoming like secret, like Nepo baby, but nobody would know. Nobody's seen her in years. And she owns some crazy designer brand that she like designs for. And let me pull up the receipts. But first of all, why are we judging children? This is a judgment on their parents. Absolutely. What one person has access to versus the other has everything to do with what they are allowed to enjoy at that age. My friends were allowed to do certain things that I wasn't. I was allowed to do certain things that they weren't. It really has nothing to do with my choices when I was 12. It has everything to do with what my parents allowed at the time. And all this is not, oh, well, North isn't allowed to do that and North is this and this. It's that I find it very bizarre what they are allowed to do when they both have access to everything, but the parenting style is different. How North is allowed to express herself at such a young age is different.
I actually think she's not going to be in the spotlight as much as all of the other kids. And I think she'll go to like FITM or like Parsons and go into fashion design and or be in the fashion field. But kind of like how Mary-Kate and Ashley do it with the row, like she won't be like the front and the face of it.
So not to get parasocial, especially over celebrities' kids, but Penelope just did a dump on TikTok of a bunch of photos, like this one and this one, which is crazy. But most of the other pictures were like fashion inspo and sewing, like seen here. So I can see my prediction from like 5 years ago becoming true, and her being like,
she looks so cute. Mind you, she's 12. I think we really shouldn't focus on minors. A grown woman, by the way. Her using an old iPhone is so funny. I think this is a deeper conversation, not necessarily directed like, oh, let's only talk about one child. The conversation is about how all of us as adults, all of our habits, as well as everything that is being portrayed on social media, what young people are consuming, what it does to their brain, and how it completely changes the perspective of how children are growing up in this era and what they will become when they do get to be our age. Seeing these two girls and seeing them in the spotlight is like watching two different generations play out in real time. It's crazy. You could say that the major difference is the parenting, but it's actually much more sinister than that. It is the way that these children are marketed towards us and other children their age. Kim Kardashian built an entire empire based off of perfection and performance. Her image was her business. So it does make sense that her daughter would be introduced to that world very early on. From matching her mom's outfits to being filmed for different parts of the Kardashians, every public moment becomes part of a narrative. Meanwhile, Kourtney has spoken openly about wanting to slow down fame and protect her kids' privacy. Her vibe is more down to earth. She's the chill mom who doesn't really exist as much in the limelight. Now, let's not get it twisted at all that I'm a Kourtney Kardashian fan or a Kardashian fan at all in general, because she still runs her own brands and she has tailored her public image to match that perception of her, including her children. If Kourtney decided to one day switch up her marketing and go back to being hyper perfect like Kim, then you better bet that Penelope would start dressing and acting just like North is. But right now we've got two girls that are the same age, with one living in the limelight like a celebrity and the other just existing. The thing is, most girls today don't really get the privilege of just existing. Now, let me take you back to a time that's gonna bring you back some PTSD, as it will myself to film this. Remember when being 12 was actually awkward? Braces, acne, baggy hoodies, bad haircuts. It was all a part of the process. It was all about finding yourself. When you're 12, everybody's so focused on being weird and figuring out who they are in this world that nobody really cares how you look. Nobody's really paying that close attention. At least back in the day, all of us looked weird together when I look back at it. But right now, there is just no room for an awkward phase. Social media completely erased it. When you're online, from the moment you can physically hold an iPad, you learn very early what gets attention and what doesn't.
So I ordered a bikini from this brand
And I got the package yesterday and I opened it and immediately I could see that I didn't get my order. I got someone else's order, right? So I go to open my email and like let them know, hey, like I got the wrong package. And they already knew. They emailed me and said, hey, you got the wrong package. Here's a code. If you can send it back to us, we're going to get you yours. And I was like, okay, fine. But since I had already opened it, I was like, let me see. And I see on the receipt, it's like multiple swimsuits for like a baby, like size 12 to 18 months. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know that this brand made swimsuits for babies, right? Or kids for that matter. But I opened this and I'm so sorry. Like, call me a prude, I guess. Call me old school, but I'm not gonna lie. I do think this is a fucking crazy top for a baby, size 12 months. This is the top. I'm trying to hide the tag because I don't want to put the brand on blast, but it's weird, right? Like, what baby needs scrunch butt bottoms and little tiny string bikini tops? I'm so sorry, but
No, pause it there. If that is too much, I've seen enough. I would be canceling my order altogether. Why are you making that? Why are we doing that? The over-sexualization of kids is outrageous. It's disgusting. Not only scrunch butt, but also cheeky. Are you kidding me? This is a baby. So impractical. I'm so thankful my 10-year-old is a 10-year-old. No makeup, no visits to Ulta, not even anything designer. She plays with dolls, Polly Pockets, and a Barbie house. Oh my gosh, I didn't even mean to get all... I haven't seen any of these videos, so like this is like... That's because of you, mama. You gave her the confidence to continue being a kid instead of falling into peer pressure. Let's normalize children having a childhood. I get so flustered about this whole conversation because we have our entire lives, oh my god, to feel like crap about ourselves. I don't want to say that because it's just natural. Like, once you get into the world of makeup and tweakments and clothes fitting you too tight and needing to be perfect and reading magazines and realizing that we're in this world that constantly wants to make us feel small and like we need to change, this doesn't last forever. Like, for girls or boys, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you want to be in this world as long as possible because it doesn't last. Eventually you get to a point where you wake up and you are 22 and you have to go to school, you have to go to work, and you're judged by your peers, you're judged by other people. People need you to be a certain way. So to make this last as long as possible, like, I have so many moments I wish I lived in it longer. Like, I wish I didn't try so hard to grow up. And 13 Going on 30 is like one of my favorite movies of all time. It makes me cry like this every time because it always just reminds me, like, you need to be a kid and enjoy it as long as possible. And when you have children, you want them to enjoy that wonder and that imagination in that world because you're gonna get to the point where you get to wear makeup anyway. Like, you'll wear the retinols anyway, you'll do the face taping, you'll do the gua sha eventually. Like, why put it on them now? This is a real childhood. Let's keep raising our kids like this for as long as possible. Sorry guys. Ooh. Suck it in. Okay, I think it's gone. Woo! Today, it's like if you're funny, cute, or polished, you get validation. If you're weird or shy or acne prone, you don't. So kids find a way to adapt. They watch 25-year-old influencers with tons of likes and they take a look and they say, oh, that's I guess what I need to look like in order to be liked. AI beauty filters finish the job, blurring away baby fat and giving them the perfect shade of eyeshadow to make them look 10 years older. That way, even if a 12-year-old doesn't wear any makeup, they use a filter that makes it look like they do. And then when the digital version of yourself looks older, the real life peer pressure to match it gets even stronger. You start heading to Sephora, taking your allowance money, maybe your babysitting money, trying to create this perfect skincare routine for yourself. We used to joke that social media could make adults feel insecure. Now it's literally shaping how young people see themselves. And now we've got an entire generation that is skipping the very messy and awkward formative years that literally make us who we are. There's no ugly duckling stage anymore, and I'm pissed. Everybody needs to have the ugly duckling phase. Everybody needs to go through what I went through because how else would we get here? Like, how else would we figure everything out for ourselves? Now all of these kids are turning into forced swans going and trying to steal their parents' credit cards so they can buy the new Sephora launch that they saw on TikTok. And yeah, that's right, I said it. TikTok, right? You've probably seen those get ready with me vids of little girls pulling their hair into a scalp destroying ponytail using skincare that they shouldn't even have to touch until they're 20. When I was 12, getting ready meant brushing my hair and begging my mom to let me wear a little bit of lip gloss. Sometimes I'd have a pimple so bad I need her to cover it up for me, but sometimes, that would be a little too much. Now, 12-year-olds film routines with contour, different serums, and bronzer, all to look good for the camera. Because for this generation, existence equals performance. If it's not filmed, it didn't happen. Even being a kid, jumping on the bed, doing sleepovers, hanging out with friends is like aestheticized and created for content. Like, it's so annoying. I used to grow up with so many kids that had amazing bedrooms. Like, I go over for a sleepover, I'd be like hot pink and lime green, blue and brown, like pink and brown, like almost like inspired by Hannah Montana bedrooms. And like, it was so cute. But now everything is white? Why do the kids have to grow up in a hospital bedroom? Karen, not everything has to be beige. Oh, I'm gonna give her a play set. It's beige. Are you serious? You guys make me sick. Everything is about you. Everything is about what you want. It's disturbing. Like, you're robbing the children of what they deserve to have. Like, they should have a life for themselves, not for what other people think. That just literally boils my blood. Me and my sleep tonight. I'm the killer. Get back. Change the kids' rooms. Let them grow up like kids. Now you got thousands of strangers, including adults, consuming these videos of like the perfected childhood every single day. Some leave harmless comments and some don't. Children are being exposed to public judgment before their frontal lobe is even finished developing. Take it from me now, I've already decided I probably won't be having a child for another couple years. You will never see that baby. You'll never see her or him ever. It's just, I cannot begin the thought process of somebody having anything to say about my child. It's totally not fair. It's totally up to them if they want to be on camera. And even then, I'd probably say, wait till you're 18 and then you can be in a YouTube video with me and the girls. And because of all of this, being on social media, being filmed, being posted, their worth becomes measurable in likes, comments, views. That kind of validation actually rewires your brain. I don't even know what would happen to you. I haven't grown up with anybody like that. I don't know any kids that have grown up in this yet. It's crazy. And the worst thing is the algorithm has no age limit. TikTok doesn't know if you're 12 or 22. All it knows is that your video performed. So when young girls start engaging with beauty, fashion, or aesthetic content, the platform floods them with even more of it. Before long, their feeds are filled with 25-year-olds doing lip fillers, nose jobs, gym routines, and full glam transformation. It simply becomes a feedback loop. A 12-year-old sees this idealized lifestyle of a 25-year-old, thinks it's womanhood, tries to imitate it, and then gets rewarded with engagement. And then, of course, the algorithm doubles down even more. That's how we end up with 6-year-olds posting skincare routines, 9-year-olds with fan pages, and 10-year-olds being called baddies. We have built an ecosystem that literally raises influencers before it raises children. And honestly, like I said earlier, it's just not the kids' fault. They are doing exactly what the internet taught them to do, which is to monetize attention. But it's not just technology's fault, because like North and Penelope, there are always the parents who are just standing in the sidelines watching their own kids get sucked into this weird content vacuum. And then what do? Nothing. Many of these little mini influencers never actually chose fame. Their parents did. Family channels, kid influencers, and mommy YouTubers are literally multi-million-dollar businesses. Children are now performing for an audience that they never consented to. This is what I mean, where it's like, I totally understand sharing your pregnancy, sharing being a mother, sharing what it's like having a toddler, and kind of finding a community around it. I have always loved Emily Kaiser's content. I think she's just such a pure, sweet, kind-hearted woman. But I would never want to share to that degree, because at the end of the day, my kid can't consent. If I have a 2-year-old, what if one day they grow up and they're like, Mom, why did you do that? Why did you put me in front of millions of people? They aren't able to consent, almost like how I feel about babies getting their ears pierced. They can't say, I want to get my ears pierced. I think that's weird. Just because you're the parent doesn't mean that's your person. You are raising a very individual child that relies on you. And of course it's your baby, but you don't own them. They are still their own person, and they're going to grow up to be their own person. And even when these parents mean well, the line between sharing and selling eventually becomes very blurry. Because once something starts as a cute little video and then ends with brand deals and PR unboxings, it's nearly impossible to stop, especially when you're using your child to get out of having to go to a 9-to-5 job. A lot of these people don't realize how much money you can make from social media and content creation. So then you're like, why would I go back to the bank when my daughter and I can be home all day filming content? But like, what's that gonna look like in 15 years, in 10 years? Is she gonna like completely stop talking to you? Because it's like, Mom, why did you make me work? You're making me work at 2 years old? I've been working since birth. It's weird. So while we criticize a 12-year-old in a push-up corset, maybe we should be asking why adults are profiting off of the performance of a child in one. Most of these kids online have parents who couldn't care less about what their child watches or does. If their kids ask for money for the latest skincare drop, they just do it because they don't want to deal with the aftermath if they don't. This seems to be an entirely Gen Alpha problem too. We've got teachers dropping out and kids committing insane crimes because of social media. If you add Sephora Kids to the mix, you can clearly see that there is some sort of pattern forming. Gen Alpha parents ignoring their kids and leaving them to be parented by the platforms they're on is an entirely different rabbit hole. But it does add another reason why kids are finding it harder than ever to resist the call of TikTok performance. But here's the thing, besties, not all hope is lost. There is a growing movement online that is trying to reclaim girlhood. Creators are encouraging young kids to embrace their messy hair, weird hobbies, silly fashion choices, and imperfection. We are seeing people talk more about de-influencing, about not buying every single viral product release, and about disconnecting from the performance of perfection. It's small, but it is powerful, because maybe the entire solution isn't to shame 12-year-olds for wanting to feel pretty. It's honestly to change what pretty actually looks like. Maybe it's to show that growing up slowly isn't lame. It's completely healthy and normal. And when you're growing up, not every single thing needs to be an aesthetic. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please throw out a big fat thumbs up and also comment down below. Have you guys noticed this surge in content, seeing these very young faces doing not very young things? I can't help but think like I would have never done that at that age. But then again, I didn't have access to the kind of social media that I do now. Like when I was like 12, I think we just got Facebook. Am I that old? If you guys enjoyed today's video, you can go ahead and click here to find out why Botox is absolutely so horrible in destroying your face, you guys. It is very dangerous. Don't just willy-nilly go and get Botox, or you can click here to find out why the Instagram face is totally dead. Thank goodness, and good riddance. You guys know I only make these videos because I love you and I truly want the best for you. I hope you have an amazing day or night or whenever you're watching, and I'll see you very soon.